God, Kenneth Okonkwo has speak another one, shock everybody. So Kenneth Okonkwo, Olusegun Obasanjo, that's ex-president of Nigeria, is working for Bonamedi Tinubu, that is not sincere for the opposition. So Kenneth Okonkwo said this. So I'd like you to listen to, Kenneth Okonkwo saying that ex-president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, is not sincere for the opposition, that is working for, Bonamedi Tinubu. He's giving example what happened in past, how they collect power from Goodluck Jonathan. So listen to Kenneth Okonkwo. He said a lot of things. I would like you to listen to Kenneth Okonkwo. Listen to Kenneth Okonkwo before I start analyze this, because I have a lot to discuss. So listen to Okonkwo.
Following Peter Obi and Kwankwanso, openly saying he's supporting their ticket, that is misleading Nigerians because he knows that ticket will not deliver anything. How do you respond to all of this?
I was in the presidential campaign as a spokesperson in 2023.
Yes. The Labour Party presidential campaign of Peter Obi, specifically.
Then I sincerely thought Obasanjo meant well. And because the power needed to go to the south. So when he endorsed us, I sincerely thought he meant well. So I didn't believe it that he had any ulterior motive. But then after the election, I started seeing him wearing, how do you call it? Renewed hope cap. Attending occasions. When you go at times, you say, Mianda, First Lady, they'll invite him, this and that. And I sat down and I said, okay, I will not confirm until when 2027 is approaching. Now that every opposition leader on their own chose a platform, ADC, to contest him. If Obasanjo sincerely meant that Tinubu will be removed from power, would he not work with the entire opposition in order to remove the incumbent? Power has rotated. I always judge men by their antecedents. Obasanjo is from the south. In 2015, Goodluck Jonathan had not finished 8 years. But Obasanjo joined the coalition even when he loathed Buhari. Even when Buhari wanted to upstage him and remove him as president in 2003 and become president, Obasanjo joined the coalition of the opposition people to remove Goodluck Jonathan when Goodluck Jonathan had not finished 8 years. Meaning he understood that it is only when the opposition is working together that they can defeat an incumbent. So if in 2027, because power has rotated to the south, Obasanjo is not willing to work for the opposition, entire opposition, but is willing to divide them, then I agree without equivocation that is working for Tinubu. I made it clear to everybody before that anybody that leaves the opposition by whatever name is working for Tinubu. Because the more divided the opposition is, the more Tinubu wins. So if Obasanjo comes out openly to say he's endorsing any candidate outside the opposition candidate, because all of us agreed when we went into ADC. That's why I take myself as the spokesperson for the presidential candidate of the coalition. That was how we started talking about ADC. I made it clear that anybody who emerges as the presidential candidate of the coalition, I will work for, I'll campaign for. So I'm not seeing myself just as the presidential spokesperson of Atiku Abubakar. No. I'm the presidential spokesperson of the presidential candidate of the coalition. Anybody
So,
who is
do
not
you
within
know
the
what is
coalition.
happening, on this discussion? So you notice that there is, some truth about what Kenneth Okonkwo is saying here, because what Kenneth Okonkwo is saying here, some truth on it. So, and what do you expect? Do you expect Obasanjo to leave him brother to supporting another person? It's not possible. It's not possible to Obasanjo to leave him brother to supporting another person. So what Kenneth Okonkwo say here that Obasanjo is not sincere for the opposition to supporting opposition, that Obasanjo is not sincere. He explain us how Obasanjo joined the coalition to collect power from ex-president Goodluck Jonathan. Explain us how many things happening, that if Obasanjo is sincere, that Obasanjo will join to remove Bola Tinubu in 2027. But I'm asking this question again and again and again. Can you leave your brother to support another? So that is what question I'm asking. So to tell you the truth is that what Kenneth Okonkwo was saying, is true, because Obasanjo, remember how Obasanjo is vibrant before, but now Obasanjo is not talking. Obasanjo is no longer speaking. What Obasanjo say now is just visiting some activities, so this and that. Obasanjo is no longer saying, criticizing, the current president, so like criticize the late president, that is Buhari. So I'm not here to cause any problem. I'm not here to criticize anybody, but I'm here to tell you the truth and what is happening in this country. So Obasanjo, I don't know. So let's watch in 2027 election, because what is going to happen in 2027, like I told you, is going to shock everyone. So thank you, and continue pray for God for peace in 2027, but because it's not going to be easy. So God will bless you. Like I told you, in case you never subscribe, try and subscribe on our TV. One love. Thank you.